1, 2, 3, 4! From the Riffs!
Hey, welcome back to From the Riffs. This is Big Will.
Carmen Blair.
And today we're going to be talking about my personal favorite genre, superheroics. See what I did there? Beat the trademark. Anyway, so Heroes Unlimited is Palladium's answer to all you comic book and superpower lovers, all you guys out there who want to be heroes. This is it. This is how you get it. And I'm excited, so let's just get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I started with Superheroes, Heroes Unlimited as my first Palladium game, and it started for me. The thing about Heroes Unlimited is it's the one system that you can do everything in. I mean, you want to, run a giant robot, you can run a giant robot. You want to have superpowers, you can have superpowers. You want magic, you can have magic, or you can have psionic powers, or you could be a mutant animal. You could just do anything and everything.
Or you can do both. You can mix them, mix and match. There's definitely the potential for that. One of the things about this particular setting is, unlike most Palladium titles and genres, there's not a whole lot of backstory. And we've come to the conclusion there's a very fundamental reason for this. Everyone wants to be the hero.
Yeah.
And the best part about this entire system is you can build that hero. And so there really isn't a need to go and build this entire dynamic and backstory because it would kind of restrain most people when they're playing. So the idea was to give you a platform, and as a player or as a GM, you could take it where you want to take it.
Yeah. Now it's kind of set in that modern superhero setting. So I mean, it is what you would expect for the comic books. And if you're trying to make that comic book character, it's what you're aiming for. But I mean, they do go over to the different genres. So if you want to play, the Silver Age or the Golden Age,
yes.
Or if you want to play, the darker heroes from the '90s, or it gives you an idea of how to play these different.
Yeah, you get the whole. If you want to stick with the Biff Pow Bam of your Batman, all the way into the darker, more dystopian Watchmen or Image, if you like the gritty bad girl, young blood type stuff from Image Comics in the '90s, you can really produce any of that stuff using Heroes Unlimited. There's, as we said earlier, there really isn't a whole lot that you cannot do.
Now, if you do want some setting, I mean, there is books like Villains Unlimited here, which has specific villains for you. So as a GM, you can't come up with them all yourself. There's also Gramercy Island and Century Station, which are their kind of dark hero setting, which has I think there's a couple hundred different villains and heroes set up in those books. There's mutants. There's a mutant book for if you want to play the mutants.
Aliens.
There's Aliens. There's Galaxy Guide and Aliens Unlimited, which takes it into space.
Yeah, I mean, really, and we should also mention that although we have 3 books that we're showing here, I believe there's 12 or 13 books in total.
Somewhere like that.
So I mean, it's a fairly expansive line. So you really can find just about everything that you're looking for.
Yeah, if you're happy with the basic powers, you can use that. If you want more powers and more power categories, you can get the 3 Power Unlimited books. If you want more aliens, pick up the Aliens book. If you want it, kind of a space opera. There's just all kinds of different stuff. There's the GM's guide to help you out if you're a GM and not sure how to handle all these superpowers. Because the one thing you can make, which is good and bad, is you can make the ultra super just tank machine in this game. And not all GMs know how to handle that. So, there's the stuff in this line to make sure that you can, you know what to do as the GM.
Especially, and this one really does go out to GMs, with the comic book genre, the comic book action genre, there are really 2 sides to it. And so this goes out to GMs and role players alike. Consider the fact that, yes, you can do a high-action, fisticuffs and explosions and superheroics kind of game, or you can stick to the more heavy role play, understanding what it's like to be a guy who can fly, or be a guy who controls radiation, one of my favorite powers, by the way. You can be that. Something else I'm really going to highlight, so that Carmen doesn't look like a jerk, is this great explanation of powers in this book. I found with some other systems, abilities and powers, there's a little bit of they're a little fuzzy and vagary, whereas Palladium has done an excellent job of illustrating some of those powers. Now, that part about Carmen being a jerk is he wrote some of the powers in some of the books. Actually, quite a few powers in some of the books. And so I didn't want it to seem like he was blowing his own horn. But did a really good job of really explaining how some abilities work. Because when you're trying to play a game in a setting, you really do need to kind of know, okay, what does my super strength allow me to do? Or just because I can shoot electricity doesn't make me immune to electricity.
Yeah.
All these little things that if you're a comic book fan, you know it's important for you to know. You want to know why Superman can do the things he can do. Why Batman is able to fight guys who are 10 times stronger than him. You want those little things that are going to add the flavor. So,
yeah, and not only does it are the powers of those described, but also the power categories, kind of your OCC, your way of making your character, run the gambit. So you can have that alien who's the Superman level, super powerful guy, all the way down to a super sleuth who's not much more different than Sherlock Holmes or something of that nature that is very limited on powers. Or you could have the hunter who's like a big game hunter with his sniper scope, or an ancient master who's just a kung fu master. It runs that gambit from the ultra powerful type characters all the way down to the low level type characters. Sometimes some GMs have a hard time with that, but assuming you can get it right, that means you can play the super teams that are represented in the comic books that have the Paragon heroes all the way down to those low-level guys on the same team, and it makes sense, and there'd be a way to incorporate them all. Because in a lot of other games where they're just based on ranks or something arbitrary, those low-level guys get represented by having a 1 or a 2 in the same skill that the other guys have 20s and 30s in, and so he's useless. In here, because it is something completely different, there's a different formula for how they're set up. They get to do stuff. They're not useless.
Yes, skills are obviously, with all Palladium books, skills are a big deal. So your skills can really help. Also, the compatibility factor is big. Moving into when you're talking about you can play your superhero in a risk campaign. Yeah. You can actually move some stuff from Rifts. Actually, Rifts is very compatible with the Heroes Unlimited line. We even had a campaign where we used Heroes Unlimited rules and powers in Palladium Fantasy.
Everybody had a superpower, but they were like normal knights and stuff. They all had a talent, and that was their power.
And it was so again, you get that compatibility of the Megaverse, where you can slot things in and pull them back out or whatever, however you want to do it.
But yeah, I really like the fact that you can develop a character and you can give them all these different things. So you have not just as attributes, you get skills you can give them. You can give them superpowers. You can give them psionics, magic, bionics, power armored equipment, spells. It goes on and on. And as you bring in the Powers Unlimited books, you can have symbiotes, or you could have a guy who builds like a super sophisticated power ring or whatever. But it's just the Heroes Unlimited has it all in one big package.
Yeah. So it's definitely something I would really encourage you guys to check out. It's actually the Palladium line that I have played the most and will continue to play. We should talk about the books themselves. Jam-packed is definitely the word I'm going to use, because it's just robust with fantastic and vivid art. You're probably going to get a new drawing or picture like every other page. The books themselves, you can see just how thick the main book is, and most of them are about that, maybe a little thinner.
About 160 pages.
Yeah, and even the Powers books, while they're not huge, they are quite full, and you get all new art in all of those as well. Yeah. So the value factor is there. And like I said, because they're so they're so easy to customize and translate. You might find yourself using them when you're running other campaigns as well. So,
But yeah, okay, that's about it for the overview. Like we said, it's probably out of all the games, it's the most generic, but there's a lot there to be had. Next, we already have up our review of the Rifts Unlimited main book. I believe it's up. If not, it'll be going up shortly. So check that out after you've done this one. And then we're going to continue on with reviewing all the books in the series. Well, that's about it for this one.
yep, that ends this overview. So, till next time, I'm Big Will Johnson,
Carmen Miller.
and we'll see you from the Rifts.